Good morning, everybody. Welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I'm the host, Maka Buckasher. I'm here with Billy Hatton and Matthew Lau. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing all right.
Doing pretty good.
All right. So just a little intro before we start the show today. We're going to break down the Power 5 in men's NCAA basketball conferences. We're going to rank them from 1 through 5 and kind of debate on the topic right after the intro.
If you came to prove, there's no reason to prove.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
And now you've got yourself something funky.
RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
All righty, and we are live here on this beautiful Thursday morning, and let's go ahead and jump right into it today. If you guys joined us on Tuesday, we kind of got in a heated debate about the Power 5 football conferences and ranking from top to bottom, and I was like, well, why not do we just not do it with the men's basketball alike as well? So Matthew Lau, let's go ahead and start with you today. Like, how would you rank the Power 5 conferences as far as basketball goes?
So I'm going to I can almost venture to say that this one won't be near as passionate, and I'm going to try to include what I think this year is going to hold and take a little bit from last season. I'm not going to go too far back from that. Number one, I think it's clearly the ACC. I think the ACC is a basketball conference, and that was their sole purpose. Two, I got to go Big Ten. I think the Big Ten has, they're kind of like that middle America. They got solid football. They got solid basketball. Three, I'm going to give it just this year, just based on the growth we saw, to the SEC, and that's just because Tennessee is going to be ranked in the top 5. You got a lot of guys moving up. There's always Kentucky. Four, I got to go Big 12 or Pac-12. I'm sorry. The Pac-12 would be higher, but I feel like outside of UCLA's history 20, 30 years ago, they always underachieve. And then number 5, I got to go Big 12 because I don't think anyone really does anything outside of Kansas who has won that conference for the past decade. So mine is number 1, obviously ACC with Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, all those. 2, Big 10, Ohio State, Michigan State, even Michigan's in there. IU when they can get back. 3, SEC, just for now. 4, Pac-12, 5, Big 12.
We started out the same, Matthew, and that's normally how it always works. We at least have one answer, normally the same. I as well got the ACC number 1. I mean, I think anybody that knows any basketball, I think, ACC is a basketball conference. I went a little bit different route, and I went the deepest conference outside of just the best teams. I went to Big 12 at number 2, and because of what he said, I mean, Kansas and West Virginia is always in there. Baylor, Texas Tech, Iowa State. Last year, Iowa State had a pretty good season. I think that Big 12 conference will start to get. I didn't go the traditional Power 5, but I went the Big East. With Villanova and Xavier, Providence, Seton Hall, Butler. I think that's the basketball conference right there. I went the Big 10, and then I went the Pac-12. I left the SEC out because, to me, honestly, they only really have 2 teams that's really contenders. That's really always contenders, and that's Florida and Kentucky. Nobody else really outside of that conference. Yeah, they're names that we know, that they're teams that we follow, but these are teams that has never really made any splash in any tournament outside of Florida and Kentucky. So I left the SEC out and I added the Big East in there.
Well, see, I think there was a couple things. Like I said, I don't think this is going to get near as heated as the football version of this. There was a couple things that wasn't exactly clear with the question. If I can include the Big East, then yeah, I got them actually number 2 right behind the ACC, just because of the top. And
Yeah.
are we talking big picture? Because yeah, if we're talking big picture, I got to kick the SEC way down. If we're talking just this season, the SEC's got 3 teams ranked in the top 10. So I guess that wasn't real clear. Because if we are talking historical run, then yeah, I got to kick SEC down some, because outside of Kentucky and Florida, it's not really been a lot of dominance. But if we're talking this season or a mixture of last season and this season coming in, that changes. So I'm not sure which one we were really anticipating. It looks like Billy went more long term. I stayed more the present.
Well, I still don't think just because the SEC has a few teams in there, these teams still won't make a splash this year. I mean,
but the SEC's made. I mean, you got an SEC team that's been in the Final Four, I think, every year for the past 5 years, except for this last year. And not many other conferences can boast that. I mean,
but that's
you got
only
South
one.
Carolina.
But it's only one team really. Normally, that's always there. You have an anomaly, but normally only Kentucky or Florida.
It wasn't Kentucky or Florida.
I know it wasn't Kentucky or Florida this year. That's why I said there's an anomaly.
Well,
you know,
but I mean,
it's normally.
I guess. Well, what's Mike asking? What's Mike asking? Mike, are you asking for like the big picture, last 10 years, or are you asking this year? Because this year you got to include anomalies.
Yeah, let's go with this year. Like ranking. So like at the end of the season of the 2019 basketball season, who will be the best conference? Who will be the second best, etc.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're talking about the end of this season, I don't think any of these SEC teams that's ranked right now are going to be there. Because
and that's a great point.
So if we're
they won't.
So we're talking about this season, yeah, the preseason rankings mean nothing to me because eventually these teams will fall.
Well, then your argument makes even less sense because Florida is going to probably have the worst season it's ever had, and Auburn and Tennessee are legitimate. Like Tennessee top-ranked team.
But my argument is solid because I don't even have the SEC in there because I don't care anything about SEC basketball. So my argument is right on point if we're talking about this season because I think those teams in the Big East that I named will be there. And I don't think those teams that's right there in the SEC now.
Name me 2 guys on Villanova. Name me 2 guys on Xavier. Name me 2 guys on Ohio State. If they're going to be so precious, name them. Show them to me. I don't think you've seen the top of college basketball now.
But it doesn't matter who's on the team every year. It's constant. It's constant. These teams are constant.
Mike just said every other year doesn't matter. We're talking just 2018-19.
Did we know Mike? Did we know Mike Devin, Mike D? Did we know that he was going to be that great in the Final Four last year? No, nobody knows what's going to happen. These guys raised up through basketball. This guy he's coming off the bench. How do we think he was going to be the best player in the country?
If you ever watched Villanova, you knew he would have been legit. He was nice his freshman year.
I didn't say he was whether he was legit. I said who knows he was going to be the best player in the tournament coming off the bench. Nobody knows that.
He was the best player. Come on, dude. He wasn't the best player in the tournament. Mikal Bridges was. He was the best player versus Michigan.
Telling me
he wasn't the best player in the tournament.
Telling me to name people. I can't name people on Carolina team right now. That don't mean that they're not going to be good.
That's just rough.
No. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Just because whoever don't know the name of a player, that don't mean that their team is not going to be good.
Okay, so then this college, then yeah, Billy's rankings are right because he's not taking into account this year. He's sitting back and saying, based on history, so okay, he's right.
So
based on history,
you're right. So we're supposed to believe on a team that's never been worth anything in men's college basketball. That's because that's what you're telling me. You're telling me that we're just because of preseason rankings. That's what you're telling me, right?
Well, I mean, It all depends on where you count.
No,
these
that's
guys
what you're
from.
telling me. You're telling me
Well,
these preseason
Auburn-
rankings are everything.
Yes.
That's what you're telling me.
Because
These
Auburn-
preseason rankings
because
are everything,
Auburn-
and they're not.
Auburn spent most of last year in the top 10. So I mean,
Where are they at in the tournament?
I believe they made it to the second round of Sweet 16.
My
Excuse me,
point.
if that's the case,
My point.
If that's the case,
So
then Villanova's trash. Villanova's trash.
What does that
We're
do
under-
if you're making it to the round of 32? What, like, honestly,
Okay. Then if that's the case, then we can't.
what is the round of
Well,
32?
Okay, if that's the case, then ACC's out because Duke and Virginia lost in the first 2 rounds. Okay, North Carolina lost in the second round. Take them out.
We can.
I mean, okay, then ACC's not the best. Then if that's the case, then the Big East is the best. The Big 12's right there behind it. The Big 10's second because Michigan made the championship game. If that's what we're going off of, then the Big
That's
10's
one
second.
team. We are ranking conferences as a whole, not individual teams. We're ranking conferences as a whole. So if you want me to rank the conference as a whole, I am not going to put an SEC in there when consistently they only have 1 to 2 teams in the tournament every single year, and that's going to include this year. Okay, because Bruce Earl may have these guys in Auburn. They may be ready, and they may be ready to go. Avery Johnson got Alabama starting to people are starting to buzz a little bit more, not just about football. I get all that, but they still the SEC when it comes to basketball. Like I cannot put them as a top 5 conference just because they're in the Power 5.
I told you were right. I said, there you go. Because you're clearly, based on the nonsense you're spewing, you're basing this off big picture last 10 years. That's fine. You're right. I concede it. You're not looking at just 1 year. You're looking at the last decade, and that's fine. So you're right. Yes, I agree. Yours is the correct of the two.
So, Matthew, the real question arises here. How can you rank the Big 12 last in those conferences? They had over 50% of their teams make it to the tournament from the conference. So how can you justify that?
Because everyone outside of Kansas is trash. Trash is beating on trash. Last year. Now, if we're going
Whoa. Didn't Kansas State whoop Kentucky's butt in the tournament?
Yeah, in UNCB, the Golden Retrievers beat Virginia. But if that played 10 times, that's not happening any more than once. So, yes, they beat them once, but, I mean, whatever.
So
last year,
you're saying 60% of the tournament, so 60% of the conference makes it to the tournament. They're a last place conference?
Yeah. Based on last year and this year going in, yes. Now, if we're going like Billy said, if we're looking at the big picture of names mean something, then I got to move them up, way up. But just last year and this year, I do not have faith in that conference at all.
It's a smart picture. Most of these rankings are based on buzz and what we think you're going to do anyway. Like, and I don't think most of these SEC teams are going to do anything. I'm talking about this year. I'm not talking about 10 years down the line. I'm talking about this year. I don't think these teams are going to be good this year just because they preseason rankings are higher than this team. That doesn't equate wins. But that equates what I think you can do. That equates
so
potential.
For example,
that's potential.
So for example, Alabama basketball historically is trash, and I will admit that. But basketball, unlike any other sport, you add 2 top-tier players, it changes everything. So last year, Alabama was a top-tier team for 1 year. That's where I think Auburn, South Carolina, and Tennessee is this year. Next year, it may not be like that. But they have top-tier players. Tennessee has 3 guys that are projected to go in the draft next year. That does not mean something long-term, but for now, it does. 10 years ago, it didn't mean nothing. But for now, it does. 5 years from now, it won't mean nothing. But for now, it does.
I don't think it mean anything this year. Just because you got 3. Of course, basketball is the one sport where all you need is 1 or 2 guys.
Exactly.
Especially in NCAA, you can take over. But that doesn't always equate with wins. You still have you still have to play the games. You still have to the chemistry still have to be there. The egos have to be out the door. Just because you got 3 guys, that doesn't mean you're going to win. I'm a Duke fan, diehard Duke fan. I've been a Duke fan since I don't know when. We got 3 of the 3 top high school players in the country, 1, 2, and 3 this year. Do that mean that Duke is going to win the championship this year? No, it
none of the teams are going to be good.
It just, I mean, knowing Duke, we'll lose in the first round against somebody that we shouldn't lose to. So that's what I'm telling you.
You didn't have a good season.
Projections, yeah, it's championship or bust. What you mean?
No,
we are competitors here.
Idiotic.
Final fours, and all that stuff. It doesn't matter if you're not winning. Who cares? Who cares if you get all the way there? A few years ago, when Kentucky went 28-0, and then they lost
38.
You lost.
No, see that's the thing.
It does not matter.
See, that's where we disagree, because me and Mike had a conversation. Me, Mike, and Chris on another Kentucky show had a conversation. I will take 4. If you had an option, and I could take 4 national championships, and in 10 years, I could take 4 national championships and 6 missed tournaments, or I can take 2 national championships and 8 Final Fours. I'm taking 2 and 8.
We're not talking about what we would take. We're talking about one season.
Well, I know.
It doesn't matter how many games you win. If you do not win the chip, it does not matter. Just like the Patriots that year. It does not matter how many games they won because they don't win the chip. Just like the Warriors. They break the season, the all-time 72-10 from the Bulls. Okay. They go 73-9. Who cares? They didn't win the championship. It does not matter. That's your opinion. That's a failed season. That's a failed season.
Your opinion. No,
this is all opinion. This is all opinion.
Yeah, but and that's yours. That's fine.
None of this is fact.
I don't view that as a lost season. A Final Four is a successful season. 73-9 is a big yes. It matters.
Season. Like ask the Warriors. Ask the Warriors where they whether went 43 or whatever and win the chip, or 73-9 and didn't win the chip. Okay,
73-9 was not a lost season.
It was a lost season because they didn't win the championship.
No.
They didn't win the championship. Ask the Warriors then. Ask the Warriors. I guarantee you, they'll tell you that's a waste.
We're not talking about the Warriors. It's me and you.
And I'm telling you, it's a wasted season. I'm telling you,
in your opinion,
go undefeated, and then losing your done.
Amazing season, great season, one of the best seasons I've ever experienced.
That's fans with no expectations right there. That's because if my team go undefeated, I'm expecting my team to win. That's a lost season if we don't make it.
It's intelligent fans and understanding. It's intelligent fans with their heads not up there. You know what?
No, it's not. That's not intelligent.
Yes,
that's not even a winner's mentality. Yeah, I'm good with going undefeated, but as long as I make it there, I'm good. Ask LeBron how he feels about getting to the finals and losing.
This is as dumb as Ricky Bobby's if you're not first or last. Get out of here. Even in the movie, acknowledged that was the stupidest thing ever.
It's smart.
Stupid.
It's smart.
No.
So you're okay with getting there and losing, and it's not it's nothing, huh?
And you tell your kid, if you're gonna tell your son, if you're not the most successful person in your field, you're a failure at life.
No, that's not what I'm saying. We're talking sports. We're talking sports.
Okay.
We're talking sports record. A team that can go undefeated and lose in the finals. It is a wasted season. And you're talking to a guy. You're talking to a guy in high school where I went to 3 straight Final Fours and won a state championship. Those 2 Final Fours was wasted seasons. We didn't get there, so we lost. That's wasted.
Then I feel sorry for you, man. I feel sorry for you, dude.
We go undefeated and then you lose, but you're saying, "Oh yeah, we had it. That was a good season, guys." We lost.
Like I said, feel sorry for you, bro. Feel sorry for you, man. Like I said, my first year of football, the most fun year of football I had in high school, we went 1-9. Was a blast. So I feel sorry for you, dude.
You're a blast because you got your butt kicked all year? Was that so much fun?
No, I had a blast. I had 28 touchdowns. I mean, we just struggled, but I had a blast.
Okay, so Matthew, since we're, I'm sorry, Billy, since we're judging off the rankings from this year, is your top 5 staying the same?
Oh, my top 5 is staying the same.
Matthew, is yours staying the same?
if we're ranking off just this year, yes.
Yes. Even though you have Big 12 last, even though they got 66%. Oh.
Outside of Kansas, that conference is trash.
I guess we'll see during the SEC Big 12 championship or week, like games this year, huh?
Yeah, and we'll see. Outside of, Kentucky's got Kansas, so like I said, they're good. Kansas is probably a top 3 team in the country as well as Kentucky, so that's going to be a very interesting one. But outside of that, they're trash. If I'm not mistaken, the SEC dog walked the Big 12 last year in that little battle thing.
We were just hit a slump in the season because, like, after that, we projected.
Okay.
We catapulted to the top.
Okay. Yeah, trash.
All righty, guys. Well, thank you for tuning into the show today. Thank you, Billy Hatton from Unpopular Opinion. If you guys haven't had a chance, go out and check his podcast out. Billy, where is your podcast available at?
Yeah, it's available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Radio Public, Stitcher, wherever you can normally find any of your podcasts. That is there.
Yeah, so if you guys would go check him out, give him a ranking, follow, share it for everybody that's listening to today. If one person shares it with everybody, it will start to grow. Matthew, thank you for joining us today. You're a part of the Big Blue Breakdown. Where can people find that at?
Man, it's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. Hit me up on Facebook. We'll talk about it. On a serious note, can we say a quick prayer for Billy? Apparently, he has no fun in life because if it's not first, it's last.
Hey, that's a true statement. That's a true statement.
Can we play? Mike, going out. Can we play? What is her name? Sarah Glaucon's In the Arms of an Angel. Just to kind of can we show some pictures of like Billy's teams not winning the title, because apparently those are the worst things in Billy's life. So, in all seriousness, last thing before we bounce, my explanation behind it is yes, it's not fun to lose. When Golden State didn't beat Cleveland, I wasn't celebrating in the streets, but big picture, I had a great time that season. It was a great run. And I'll go the same. We never talk about it because none of us are Louisville fans. I'll go the same if Kentucky ever has a tournament vacated. You can't, you can put an asterisk next to it, but you can't take away that great feeling I had. And 38-1, I had 38 great moments and one bad one. To me, that's a win. So that's my note. If you can cue up, In the Arms of... I'll sing it for you.
It's playing right now, big guy.
Yes. All right, take it easy, guys.
Billy, any closing thoughts?
Take it easy. No, I like the show today. Hey, man, this show is really getting good. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with everybody. We just normal people just love talking sports.
All right, guys. So join us next time Sunday morning, 9:45. We'll be on YouTube, and then it'll be shortly uploaded to iTunes after that. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a nice day.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. See you guys.